Hi guys, welcome to Hanoi. In this video I will show you the best things to do in Hanoi. So stay tuned and watch the video till the end. Hanoi is the capital of Vietnam and the oldest city in Southeast Asia. And in comparison with the south of Vietnam, very traditional. This city has many cultural and historical things to offer, and I will show you the most important of them. So let's start with our first attraction, Nok Sam Temple. The Nok Sam Temple is located in the heart of Hanoi and is definitely one of the most visited attractions in the city. To get to the Nok Temple, you have to cross the beautiful Hog Bridge that leads to the temple. Right in front of the temple, in the middle of the courtyard, you can find the Tren Bar Community House that was built in 1865. The Nok Sam Temple, in English Jade Mountain Temple, was built in the 19th century in memory of Tran Hang Dao, the greatest military commander of the Tran dynasty. But the magical thing about this temple are definitely the two embalmed bodies of the Huam Kim Lake turtles. The first body was relocated to the Nok Sam Temple in 1967 and the second one in 2018. Turtles play an important role in Vietnam's history and culture and are considered holy creatures that symbolize longevity, wisdom, and luck. And this story leads us to our next attraction, the Huam Kim Lake. Like Nok Sam Temple, Huam Kim Lake is located in the center of the capital. There is a legend about this lake that says that the famous king called Lil Loi received a magical sword from a golden turtle to fight against Chinese oppressors. After Lil Loi achieved victory over the Ming dynasty, he met the golden turtle again at Huam Kim Lake, where it asked him to return the magical sword. The Huam Kim Lake is the landmark of the city and is considered as the spiritual center and soul of Hanoi. And that is why I definitely recommend you to take a long walk along this beautiful lake, to explore Hanoi and to remember the history of Lil Loi and the golden turtle. Let's move to our next attraction, the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. This mausoleum houses the embalmed body of the most important president in Vietnam's history, the famous Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh was a resistant fighter and revolutionary who led Vietnam to independence. Nowadays, the mausoleum is one of the most visited tourist attractions in Hanoi. Unfortunately, it is forbidden to take any pictures or videos inside the mausoleum, and that is what the soldiers and security guards are also trying to ensure. Let's jump to our next attraction, the One Pillar Pagoda. The One Pillar Pagoda is a historical Buddhist temple and one of Asia's most unique pieces of architecture. The pagoda, which was built in 1049, was entirely constructed with wood on a pillar, made of a single stone, and is designed to symbol a lotus blossom, which is a Buddhist symbol of purity. Over his 1,000 years of history, the One Pillar Pagoda has been destroyed and rebuilt many times, and it was last rebuilt in 1955, when the French destroyed it. According to legend, the king Li Tai Tong prayed for a son since he was old but had no child. One night he dreamed of a Buddha goddess of mercy, Quang Am, sitting on a lotus throne and handed him a baby. Soon after, the queen gave birth to a prince. Sometime later, the king built this pagoda to honor the god of mercy, and first called it Dien Hu Pagoda, which means long happiness and prosperity. And next to the pillar pagoda is also a Bodhi tree. It was a gift from the Indian president to the President Ho Chi Minh in 1958 and was brought from the land of Buddha. Let's move on to our next attraction, Ha Lo Prison. The Ha Lo prison was built in 1896 by the French colonists to house Vietnamese political demonstrators. If you plan to visit this attraction, be sure to bring strong nerves with you. A lot of pictures that you will see are disturbing. The Vietnamese prisoners were put in dark cold cells, chained by their ankles so they were not able to walk, and were brutally tortured by the French colonists. Some of them have even gone blind. After independence from France and with the start of the famous Vietnam War against the USA in 1964, the prison was used to house American prisoners of war.
When a plane is hit, pilots are sometimes captured.
During this time, the prison was better known as Hanoi Hilton. That is how the American prisoners ironically called it. One of the most famous prison inmate was the pilot named John McCain, who went to become a US senator and a presidential candidate. Nowadays, the prison is only used as a museum to remind people of the war. Let's move on to our next attraction, the food of Vietnam. The food culture of Vietnam is very rich, and that is why there are even tourists who travel to Vietnam just for the food. The most famous dish in Vietnam is the famous soup called pho, consisting of broth, rice noodle, herbs and beef. This dish is not only delicious but also healthy. But you should also try bun cha, a famous dish especially in Hanoi of grilled pork, noodles and herbs. Another world famous meal is called banh mi, a short crunchy baguette with grilled meat, vegetables and herbs. Another specialty is the egg coffee, a traditional drink consisting of egg yolk, sugar, condensed milk and Robusta coffee. After getting the coffee ready, they are even painting beautiful landscape scenes from Hanoi on the top of the coffee. To learn even more about the food culture of Vietnam, I would definitely recommend you to visit the Tha Hien Street, because this street is very famous for its nightlife and good food. Our last but not least attraction is the Thang Long Puppet Theater. The water puppet shows are one of the most important cultural traditions in Vietnam, and definitely a must-see for anyone who is planning to visiting Hanoi. In the show, which lasts about 1 hour, you will see puppets that artistically moving around the water. And while the puppets are moved around by artists under the water, the singers tell historical stories. Like that one of Lil Loy and the Magical Sword, if you remember. Nowadays, many cultural traditions are lost in our modern world. And that is why it's very important to the Vietnamese people to maintain their traditions and cultural customs from dying out.
Vàng cây lá bay, đôi tay ngây buồn mang suy tư về. Đầy đôi mắt nhung kiêu sa môi mềm tìm đến cơn mê. Niềm tin đã lạnh theo tháng năm giá băng. Anh có nghe ngoài phố đang kết hoa. sắc hoa là bấy nhiêu tâm tình mang ý thơ mong.